Hello there, welcome back to the channel. This is going to be the weekly reading for the week of August 20th, 2023. Going to connect with my team and get 4 cards. While I'm getting the cards, let's just go over really quick the astrology for this week. Let's see, everything that is retrograde. We have a few planets retrograde and one more new one joining them this week. We currently have Saturn, Venus, Neptune, and Pluto all in retrograde. Mercury will be joining them on the 23rd this week, so that is Wednesday. Otherwise, the astrology for this week, it will be a few things. On the 22nd, we have Venus in retrograde squaring Jupiter. And basically, this is a day dedicated to making sure that you invoke kindness and healing. Right, Jupiter is the planet of expansion. Venus is all about love and care. So just make sure that you take time for yourself that day. Extra kindness, extra self-care, the normal things. On that day, we also have Mars opposing Neptune, which is retrograde. And that's going to bring up energies of courage in the face of the unknown, right? Mars being that warrior planet. Neptune is kind of a watery planet. So that's where your unknown and uncertainties come from. Just make sure to take breaths throughout all of it, that, just don't go in guns blazing. Make sure to breathe. Remember to breathe with that energy. On the 23rd, the sun is going to enter Virgo. So this basically means Virgo season officially begins. It is an earth sign. So it is time for data, spreadsheets, and everything practical. Virgo loves practical things and down-to-earth things. So the sun now will be leaving fiery Leo and will be taking on more of an earthly aspect. This is also a big day because Mercury goes retrograde. Mercury retrogrades are quite famous. I don't think I need to explain too much in this, but beware of technology problems. Double check spreadsheets, make sure you check those emails, just double check everything. Be extra cautious with everything. Words can get mumbled, just be careful with the Mercury retrograde. Also, it can affect you even more so based on where it's going to be in your chart. I will leave a tool down below that you can use, that you can see where Mercury falls for you. But just be extra careful with the Mercury retrograde, especially with all of these planets in retrograde. The energy is still kind of crunchy, I guess could be a good word, coming off of July and August, so just double check everything. And then on the 24th, we have another Mars movement. Mars is going to trine Pluto, who is currently retrograde. So this is just a reminder to work as strong on your inner world as your outer world. Pluto is all about power and the secret worlds. So this is all about your inner personal power, and Mars will give that a little bit of a boost. So what do you need to take back that's your power, and how do you show that power, and how do you take care of your inner needs as well as your outer needs? Alright, that's the astrology. So let's see what Spirit has to say this week. We've got 4 cards here. This is a newer deck that I'm using here. This is called the Folklore Tarot. Alright, we have 4 cards. We have looks like the 10 of Swords. Yes, the 10 of Swords. The 3 of Pentacles. Let's see, the 9 of Swords. And the Ace of Wands here. Let's see what Spirit is trying to say. Okay, the energy is quite strong this week. In a sense of, it's kind of a double-edged sword. Because there are 2 cards here that lean very more towards the negative side. But at the same time, we've got some good collaborative energy going on here. So this 10 of Swords, the energy of the week, being the 10 of Swords, is kind of, well, it's a completion. So that's, good in a sense of a 10, that it's a completion card. But the 10 of Swords brings up energies of defeat, of betrayal, of suffering, of taking off more than you can chew. And you have its counterpart, right? The 9 is here. The 9 of Swords is all about anxiety and fear and depression to a point. Now, a lot of the 9's energies are in your head. You might be making it out bigger than it really is, but being that we have the 10 here as well, those fears have become a reality. There's also another energy that I've learned with this card is that you've went through something that was so difficult, that was so much of an event, but now it's done. Now it's, it's literally impaled with 10 swords. It's not getting up, it's not moving, it's done, it's over with. And because it was so intense, you'll never have to go through it again. So whatever one of those two resonate more with you, I'd take. But the 10 of Swords is not a light energy. So it's quite strong. I mean, we do have Mercury going retrograde this week. We do have a lot of Mars movements. The planet Mercury is an air planet, right? The sun's going into a Mercury ruled sign, being in Virgo. The 10 of Swords does rule air. So, putting them all together, it's not a very good week for mental pursuits or words or speeches or things like that, because you have the planet of communication going retrograde. The sun's in that spot now on the 23rd as well, so it does help it out a little bit, but the week's energy is a giant no with the 10 of Swords. Now, the known energy is quite interesting. It shifts tones quite dramatically. It is the 3 of Pentacles. Now, the 3 of Pentacles is an earth element, which is interesting. Again, Virgo being an earth element. It's all about collaboration and working together and teamwork. So, it could also be, it really could be working with that Virgo sun. Right, Virgo is all about teamwork, collaboration, data, spreadsheets, getting things done, practical work. So this is a good week for that. Now, the sun gives a boost to Virgo, and wherever that might be in your chart, that area literally has a giant light on it. Whether it's in your areas of health or of work or of partnerships or resources, etc. Again, use the link that I'm going to provide down below. You can see where Virgo is, and now that would be the house, not a planet. So each house has its own representation, and you'll be able to read up on that house. So say if Virgo is your 6th house, that's your house of work and health. So the sun would be bringing its vital life force into that house. What can you do this week that's collaborative in your house of Virgo? What can you do if it's in your 6th house to help your health, right? With Venus and Jupiter on the 22nd. What self-care can you do there? Now, if it's in your 9th house of spirituality and, higher thinking, what work can you do in that house? What research, what college or what schooling or what, studies can you do there, etc. This is talking about the energy of collaboration and teamwork. So what bonds can be built here? Now, the unknown of this week, right, is our 9 of Swords. Right here, this guy. And we've already kind of gone over him a little bit. But this is, again, now air. So this goes back to the element of the mind. This is switching back from Earth to a non-physical element, basically to its opposite. And it's talking about the mind. So there is an undercurrent of energy this week that will be kind of fearful, kind of anxiety. Might be some feelings of hopelessness or depression that might creep up, so be aware of that. Now, this won't affect everybody, of course, but, the world stage, there's a lot going on. There's fires everywhere. There's things coming out about political leaders. Of course, there's always the uncertainty with the economy, etc. But, this week has a lot of energy of fear. Let's put it blunt. It's a very fearful energy this week. There's collaboration and there's teamwork and there's good things, definitely. But, there's a lot of a strong energy of maybe we don't this week. Or with that Ten of Swords, you could also read it paired with that Three of Pentacles of the collaboration and teamwork. And then if you continue to pair it with the Nine, there's another way you could read this where it's not also such doom and gloom of what projects, what collaborations, or what things in my life are bringing me fear and anxiety that I might not even know on the surface, right? That 9 is in the unknown position. So what is in the subconscious, or my subconscious, or the group's subconscious, if it's a group, because you have the Three of Pentacles, that is bringing us fear and anxiety, and that, no longer serves us, right? Because we do have on the 24th Mars trining Pluto. Pluto's going backwards, it's in retrograde. So it's looking at something again. Mars is all about energizing, it's all about war, it's all about going after personal power, right? It's a very strong, active, forceful energy. So what isn't serving me anymore? What isn't serving our group anymore? And how can we end that? You can read that Ten of Swords as we need to bring this to an end, and it never needs to come back. Like, we're done with this. As a group, we need to end this because it's bringing fear and anxiety. And it might not even be a group, it might be a personal thing, it might be in your personal world, right? Remember, because we do have to balance the inward and outward worlds this week. So what is being brought up to your attention through your subconscious that might be through fear and anxiety or unease or worry that you need to bring attention to, that you need to end, so that with our new card here, our outcome, the Ace of Wands, so that you can bring about new, so that you can bring about change, so that you can bring in things that actually serve you instead of hold you back and hold you down and make you panic and worry. What collaborations can you look toward that will bring you the happiness that we all deserve in this environment that is all about fear and anxiety? That is kind of the world stage at this point. This Ace of Wands brings about the energies of creation and inspiration and passion and potential. So what energies this week can we tap into that brings us the creative force, the vital life force that we so strongly need? That creative energy, those potentials and opportunities into our world. How can we take this fire of inspiration, bring it down to the earthly realm with Virgo's energy, right? The sun is fire, Virgo is earth. The Ace of Wands is fire. The Three of Pentacles is earth. How do we pair the two together? How do we take the creative spark and make it a tangible reality that we can take and go with, right? Virgo is all about that practical information. This isn't daydreaming. This is taking that spark of inspiration and manifesting it as real, while also being aware of there are things going on in our mental states, right? The air element is the mental realm, thoughts, words, all of those things. How can we clear house there? What fear, what anxiety, what depression is coming up through my subconscious? What's going on in my outward world that needs to end, that needs to be brought to an end? And how do we move forward? All right, that's a pretty heavy week, a pretty heavy message, I know. Just as a reminder, the 23rd is the Mercury retrograde, and it'll last, I believe, up until October at some point. But just be careful, double check everything. This isn't like, don't worry about hiding in your house or anything like that. Mercury retrogrades happen quite often. It's just a review period, but Mercury is a little bit more of a trickster in the sense that when it goes retrograde, technology usually goes pretty haywire. So just be careful, right? Do your due diligence, do your research, double check everything. But other than that, have a good week, and we'll see you next time. All right? Bye.